Yo, what is up, Super Squad? Listen up, because today we're going to talk about one of the key essentials to your muscle building transformation success, and that is knowing what you put into your body so you know that you're getting enough of the right stuff to get the body that you want. So we're going to discuss tracking your intake, tracking your calories, tracking your macronutrients, your fats, your carbs, your protein. Specifically, I'm going to give you 3 of the easiest way to track your calories and your macronutrients using the app MyFitnessPal. I rave about this app all the time because it really is one of the greatest fitness apps you could have at your disposal. It takes all of the hard work out of calorie tracking for you. It does all the work for you, so you don't have to grab a pen and paper, look at the back of every single nutritional label, write every single thing down, and then add it up at the end of the day. It does all of that hard work for you. So tracking calories is easier than ever. It logs every single calorie you eat, every single macronutrient, fats, carbs, protein. It even logs fiber, sugar, cholesterol, sodium levels, everything. This is going to be your best friend throughout your entire muscle building journey. And it's what's going to help hold you accountable to staying on track and help you achieve your goals in the fastest and easiest way possible. This is essential information you have to know, because if you don't know exactly what you're putting into your body, you're not going to know what you're going to get out of it. Are you going to gain weight? Are you going to get fat? Are you eating enough to build muscle? You don't know, so you have to track your intake so you know that you're eating enough and enough of the right things in order to gain weight and ensure that that weight is going to be muscle. Now, if you don't already know how many calories, how much fats, how much carbs, and how much protein you need to be eating on a daily basis in order to achieve your specific muscle building goals for yourself, I've already done a complete in-depth training video covering this entire topic, and I walk you through the entire process in the fastest and easiest way possible so you could calculate these numbers for yourself. So if you missed that training video, make sure you check it out immediately. I'll put a link in the description box for you. Now, you can access MyFitnessPal by downloading the app onto your smartphone. It's 100% free, and if you don't have a smartphone, you can just access the website version on your computer. It works the exact same way. So without further ado, here are my 3 simple ways to using MyFitnessPal to easily track your calories and your macronutrients so you can start seeing those muscle building results you want. All right, method number 1, scanning food. Let's say you want to have some of this turkey. You're going to make a sandwich, so just go on the back and look at the nutritional label. There's a barcode here that you could scan. So all you have to do is go into your MyFitnessPal app, go into your diary, add this food into wherever you want to add it. This would probably be considered a snack if you were going to make a sandwich or something like that. And you've got a barcode scanning tool right here. So just tap on that, scan the barcode, and just like that, it's going to calculate all of the nutritional information for you. And you could look at the nutritional label and compare it to what it says on MyFitnessPal. And more often than not, it's extremely accurate. Now, sometimes it will be a little bit off by just a few calories, which is not a big deal. You're not after perfection. Don't try to be perfect with your calories and your macronutrients, because that's just going to drive you insane. Don't focus on perfection. Focus on consistency. As long as you're consistent with hitting as close as you can to your calorie goals, to your macronutrient goals, that's what matters. You don't have to be perfect. Super simple, super easy, and super fast. All right, method number 2, searching the MyFitnessPal food database. Let's say you go somewhere out to eat, like you go to Cheesecake Factory. They don't have barcodes on the food that you could scan. So what you would do is go into the MyFitnessPal food database and basically just search whatever you're eating. And when it comes to chain restaurants, more often than not, it's going to be in here, because I believe it's the law now that they're required to provide nutritional information for their food if they have more than one location or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the law now. Anyway, let's say you're at the Cheesecake Factory and you're having the steak Diane and chicken Madeira combo. So of course you would just select that. If you're eating the whole thing, of course, one serving of one plate, and it tells you exactly what's contained in there. And once you see for yourself, okay, yeah, that sounds about right for what this entree has. So you would of course tap the check mark icon and it would be added into your food diary. But let's say you're eating somewhere that isn't as established of a franchise as the Cheesecake Factory. Let's say you go down to your local taco truck and you pick up a burrito. If you search something like taco truck burrito, there's going to be thousands of entries in here, hundreds upon thousands. So what are you going to do then? Well, what I like to do personally is just enter in something that is as close to as possible as what I'm eating. So if I go down to the food truck and it's comparable to the size of something like a Chipotle burrito, I'll just go in here and search Chipotle steak burrito, and I'll enter that as the burrito I'm eating. Because again, you're not after perfection, you're just after consistency. You just have to be as close as possible to hitting your calories and hitting your macronutrients, your fats, your carbs, your protein. You don't have to be perfect. If you strive for perfection, you're going to drive yourself crazy. So here we go. Something that sounds like typically something I would get: fajita steak burrito. Okay, 51 grams of protein, 39 grams of fat, 99 grams of carbs, and about 1,000 calories. That sounds pretty comparable to a taco truck burrito. So I'll just enter that in and voila. And of course it works the same way with those hundreds upon thousands of entries of taco truck burritos. If one of those sounds close enough to the caloric makeup of whatever you're eating, then by all means just go ahead and use one of those entries. The only thing you don't want to do is overthink this or overcomplicate things or make it any harder than it needs to be, because this is very, very simple and you shouldn't be stressing yourself out about it. So as always, keep it simple. And finally, the third and final method is creating your own food in the MyFitnessPal app. Let's say you're eating something that you can't find in here. You go to a restaurant or you're making something at home that just isn't already in the database. Well, all you would need to do is go to My Foods and create food. And basically you would just enter all this information accordingly. So for whatever the brand is, enter that. If it's homemade, of course, you would just enter homemade and a description of whatever it is you're making. Let's say you're making a meatloaf, serving size, 1 meatloaf, and servings per container, let's just say about 8, okay? So we'll go to next, and what you basically do from here is enter all of the caloric information. So whatever it may be in your recipe or whatever you're adding into the database that isn't already in there. So just for example's sake, let's enter some information in here. Let's say 200 calories, 30 carbs, 20 protein, and 10 fat. And of course you would want to fill in as much information as possible so you know exactly what you're putting into your body. But just for example's sake, we're going to skip all that. And basically it's going to add that created food into the database so you never have to do it again. So let's say you're adding a recipe in here with a bunch of different ingredients. You've got an egg in there, some meat, some vegetables. Of course, the first time you make it, you will have to measure that stuff out accordingly, add all of those together, and basically break it down to whatever serving size you want in the database. So for example, for the meatloaf, I said it serves 8 serving sizes. So according to your recipe or whatever it is you're creating, you want to make sure that you enter the information accordingly. It is a tiny bit tedious when you're first entering recipes or creating foods that aren't already in the database, but the great thing is once you finally enter it in there, it's in there forever. You're never going to have to do all those tedious calculations again. It's already in the database. And like I mentioned earlier, there's hundreds and thousands of foods already entered into the database. So chances are you may never even have to create your own food. You'll just look something up and it will already be in there, which is just another great feature of this whole MyFitnessPal application that just makes this whole process so easy and so simple. So no matter which of these 3 great methods you decide to use, every time you enter a food, regardless of which method you use, it's going to count every single calorie, every single macronutrient, every single fat, every single carb, every single protein, and it's going to enter it into your diary. And it's going to tell you your daily goal of calories, how much you've eaten. It also has a feature where you can add in how much exercise you've done in a day, but personally, I like to leave that information out because calculations are always a little hazy when it comes to that, and I'd rather it not affect my caloric calculations for the day, so I just leave it completely out. If you want to enter it, that's completely up to you, but I just leave it completely out. So what you get is your daily caloric goal, how much you've eaten in a day, and it amounts to what you have left in a day. So it tells you how many calories you need to eat, how much food you've eaten, and how much food you have left to eat in a day. And if you just go into the menu tab and go to nutrition, it has an entire breakdown of everything you've eaten: macronutrients, micronutrients, fiber, sugars, whether the fats you've eaten are saturated, polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, cholesterol levels, sodium, potassium, vitamins. Everything is in this nutrition chart right here. And it works exactly the same way. It shows you your goal for every macronutrient, how much of that goal you've hit, and how much you have left to hit, whether you've gone over, whether you're under. And you have a very simple breakdown of everything you eat right here, simply laid out for you. Your calories, your nutrients, your macros, the total macros you've eaten, your goal macros, how close are you to hitting those goals? It helps you see how close you're hitting your macronutrient goals on a daily basis. And if you're not hitting them very closely, it helps you realize that you've got to adjust your intake a little so that you are hitting as close as possible to your macronutrient goals every single day, because that's what's going to help you see results. Being consistently as close as possible to hitting your own macronutrient goals, your own caloric goals every single day. And with these 3 easy ways of utilizing MyFitnessPal, it makes this whole process a piece of cake. And with the 3 simple ways of utilizing this MyFitnessPal app that I just shared with you, it really makes this whole process as easy as possible and as easy as ever. And it's that simple, guys. These 3 easy ways to utilize MyFitnessPal to track your calories takes all of the boring, tedious, chore-like hard work out of tracking your calories, and it makes it extremely easy. Fast, simple, and easy. And that's what I'm all about. Working smarter, not working harder. And with MyFitnessPal and these 3 simple ways to use it, you're not working hard at all. So if you haven't already, make sure you start using MyFitnessPal on the day-to-day immediately. It's really going to help you keep you on track with your transformation. It's going to hold you accountable to eating all the calories you need to in a day, all the macronutrients you need to in a day, so that you can achieve the body you want finally, once and for all. And of course, tracking your calories isn't something that you're going to have to do forever for the rest of your life if that's what you're thinking. What you really should be instilling in yourself by using an app like MyFitnessPal is instilling proper nutritional knowledge into your brain, so you get more accustomed to knowing the chemical makeups of food. So in the future, once you have been tracking your calories for a while, you could just look at a meal and be like, okay, that's so-and-so calories, that has about this much fat, this much carbs, and this much protein. So simple. Oh, this meal, okay, that has this many calories, that much fat, that much carbs, that much protein, and that's gonna fit this much into my daily allotment, and I'll have this much left. No more need for MyFitnessPal. So eventually you won't have to be tracking your calories in the app. You'll just have the nutritional knowledge up here to know exactly what you're eating, what you're putting into your body, and what you're going to get out of it. And that's it. Now, as always, if you enjoyed what you learned in this free training video, make sure you flex that like button, leave some comments below, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future valuable content. Until next time, I'll see you then. If you enjoyed what you just learned in this free secret training video, make sure you join my priority waitlist for my full training course, Zero to Hero, the muscle building blueprint for skinny guys, where you'll learn my 20 skinny killing muscle building secrets for how to fully transform yourself from an average, pathetic zero into a ripped, aesthetic superhero. All you need to do is click the link on your screen, enter your name and your email, and you'll be all set for the next release date. It literally takes just a few seconds. So go ahead and do that right now before we run out of spaces. And I will see you in the next training video.